Let's talk about something we all dread, that call from an unknown number and a voice on the other end talking about a debt. It's just pure anxiety, right? But here's the thing, you actually have way more power in that situation than you probably think. So today, we're going to break down the debt collection rulebook so you can be the one in control.
And look, this isn't just some abstract problem. This comment from Redditor Jasmine101 really hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures that feeling of confusion and, honestly, suspicion. Is what they're doing even legal? How are you supposed to fight back? This is a super stressful situation for so many people, and today we are going to clear it all up.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to learn the official rules that are actually designed to protect you. Then, we'll dive into the illegal tactics collectors are really hoping you don't know about, including that shady re-aging trick. And finally, we're going to build a rock-solid action plan so you can face any collector with total confidence.
Okay, first things first, debt collection is not the Wild West. A lot of people have this idea that if you owe money, you just have to take whatever treatment they throw at you. That is just not true. There is a federal rulebook, and you need to think of it as your shield.
And this right here, this is your most powerful tool, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA. This law is literally your shield. It draws a very, very clear line in the sand. It spells out what third-party collectors are legally allowed to do, and probably more importantly, what they are absolutely not allowed to do.
And you know, if you're feeling pressured or harassed, you are so far from being alone. I mean, agencies like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the FDIC get absolutely flooded with complaints about debt collection, more than almost any other financial issue. This isn't some small, rare problem. It's a huge, widespread issue, and that's exactly why knowing your rights is so critical. So, you might be wondering, if there are these clear rules in place, how do collectors get away with all this harassment? Well, they're banking on you not knowing the rules of the game. They use a bunch of common tactics to bend or just straight up break the law, and recognizing these plays is your first step to defending yourself.
Okay, these are the big ones. The violations range from just outright lies, like threatening to have you arrested or pretending they're a lawyer, to serious privacy breaches, like calling your boss or your family about your debt. I mean, they can't even call you at crazy hours of the day. If a collector does any of these things, it's not just aggressive, it's flat out illegal. So what's your countermove when you spot one of these tactics? First, stay calm. Pressure is really their only weapon. Immediately, and I mean immediately, demand a written debt validation letter. They're legally required to send you one. Then, keep a log of every single call and know that you can send one simple letter to make them stop all contact. And here's the golden rule. Never, ever pay or even confirm a single piece of information until you have that written proof in your hands.
All right, let's circle back to that shady practice our Redditor mentioned at the beginning. It's a specific deceptive tactic called re-aging, and it's one of the most confusing and, frankly, sneaky tricks a collector can try to pull. So let's break this down. And this illustrates the difference perfectly. So on one hand, you've got the illegal stuff. This is when a collector messes with the start date of your delinquency just to keep a negative mark on your credit report for longer than the 7 years allowed by law. That's a huge no-no and violates the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But then, on the other hand, there's a legal version that can actually be a good thing for you. This is when you work out a payment plan, and after a few on-time payments, the creditor updates your account to current.
Now, this is a super critical distinction. I want you to think of it like this. There are two different clocks ticking. The first one is the credit report clock. A negative mark generally falls off after 7 years, and listen to me, nothing you do can reset that clock. But that second clock, that's the dangerous one. That's the statute of limitations, which is the time frame they have to sue you, and that clock can be reset, sometimes just by making one tiny payment. It's a trap, and it gives them a whole new window to take you to court.
Okay, so you know the rules and you know their dirty tricks. Now, let's build your action plan. This is the toolkit that's going to let you respond to any collector with facts and confidence, not fear.
It's really a simple 3-step process. First, always get validation information. Don't even talk about payment, just get the facts. Second, if you don't think the debt is yours or the amount is wrong, dispute it in writing. This creates a paper trail and forces them to prove their claim. And third, if they are using any of those abusive tactics we just talked about, report them. You don't have to get into a big argument. You have the right to challenge them with a few simple, legally powerful statements. If you're sure a debt isn't yours, you can state, very clearly and calmly, I do not have any responsibility for the debt you're trying to collect. Stop all other communication with me. Boom. That's it. That one sentence does two things. It disputes the debt and legally requires them to stop calling you.
And you have to always remember this. The burden of proof is on them, not on you. It's their job to prove you owe the money, so you have an absolute right to demand all the documentation with a formal request like this.
Provide verification and documentation that there is a valid basis for claiming that I am required to pay. This kind of language shows them you know your rights, you mean business, and you won't accept some vague answer over the phone. They must provide proof.
And what if they cross the line? Well, you've got some powerful allies. You can file official complaints with the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and even your own state attorney general's office. These agencies use your complaints to spot patterns of abuse and to take real action against the bad actors. So the next time that unknown number rings, you won't be caught off guard. You won't feel that knot in your stomach. You have the rulebook, you know all the illegal plays, and you have an action plan. This isn't just about getting information. It's about trading that anxiety for confidence. So are you ready to take back control?